YouTube, what's up? We're back with another episode of D's Corner. And today we're going to discuss my winners and my loser of a crazy first week, free agency, NFL. We had a ton of moves, a lot of moves I actually like from a lot of teams, even some teams who were so bad last year that I can't even call them a winner, but they are moving in the right direction. That's a team like the New York Jets. Picking up Demario Davis was a great pickup. Picking up Minka Fitzpatrick, great pickup. These are kind of culture changers, but they're older guys, and you're really just trying to change the atmosphere, the mindset of this team. And then you have teams like the Eagles, who are obviously losers with losing out on multiple players, still not knowing what they're going to do with AJ Brown. And we have teams like the Falcons, who, in my opinion, are just making head scratching moves. You have a hurt quarterback, you go and get a quarterback who's always hurt. I just don't understand what the Falcons are doing. But there are a lot of teams who are really trying to make a run. These teams are trying to make a push. These teams are trying to change. These teams are trying to go from worst to first and try to make a playoff run, hopefully get to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with my winners. And first up, I have the Buffalo Bills. I started to try to do one winner and one loser from each division, but some of the divisions I just didn't even agree with any of the moves, or none of them were that great for them to be called winners, in my opinion. But the Bills, they made some really, really good moves. Going out and getting Bradley Chubb to help that pass rush. Ed Oliver should be coming back from injury. You got Gregory Rousseau. Bradley Chubb is a solid, solid pickup. Now, you do need to pick up some linebackers. You don't know if you're going to bring back Matt Milano or not, or you haven't at this time. But in the secondary, trading away Teron Johnson at first seemed like it would leave a huge hole. But bringing in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, in my opinion, is one of the best moves that they did defensively. This team, offensively, we know in the playoffs especially, they're going to do their thing. Josh is going to do his thing. Even though he turns the ball over and we kind of overlook that or make an excuse for him, he's going to light up the scoreboard. He's going to light up the stat sheet. It's been the defense that has actually hindered or been the Achilles heel of this team in their Super Bowl chase. But when you look at Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he is a attitude bringer. He is a culture changer, and he is a fire starter on any defense that he's been on. He's going to get his hands on the football. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to be able to tackle. He can blitz. He can cover in the slot where Teron was. He can drop back and play safety. He can play special teams. He is just a damn good football player, and something the Bills have not had in a while in their back end. Now, this offense, they have some weapons. You already have Josh Allen with his pass and his rush ability. You couple that with James Cook, you have your tight end duo of Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. But then you add in Khalil Shakir, and then you trade for DJ Moore. Josh Allen, last year, there was no excuses. No Patrick Mahomes, no Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson. This year, you have all the talent around you, and you're still going into the draft, still able to make moves. This is your time, Josh Allen. Has to be your year to make something happen in the playoffs, and I think that they are on the right track with the moves that they made so far in week one of free agency. Another one of my winners is the Houston Texans. I love the move of trading for David Montgomery. The only problem was they traded two of their starting offensive linemen, but they were able to go out and bring in some more bodies up front that's going to be able to help. And one of those bodies is Braden Smith. So you weaken a division foe in the Colts, strengthen a weakness on Braden Smith has been a part of this Colts rushing attack that has been so good for so long. David Montgomery has been with the Detroit Lions, been so good for so long with that rushing attack. Now you have Woody Marks. Now you have Montgomery. Now you have this defense that you already had that was already phenomenal, that already carried you in the playoffs. You add Reed Blankenship to that defense. Now you're still able to give so many different exotic looks, able to keep so many defensive backs on the field like they like to. They locked up Daniil Hunter. Your defensive pass rush is still going to be there. you are now taking as much pressure off of CJ Stroud as possible. All the excuses can go away. It's either now or never for CJ Stroud. He will be going into a contract year, and I think the Texans did a really good job continuing to build this roster around this young quarterback. The Raiders, they lost the trade, but somehow they won week one of free agency, going out and getting the best center, pulling him away from the Ravens and Tyler Linderbaum. I think they're paying him $27 million a year. The Ravens rescinded the trade with Max Crosby in the 2-1, so you get Max Crosby back. You're bringing back Michael Kuntz. You're signing Kwity Paye. You got Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker at the linebacker position. You made the trade for Teron Johnson, who can play in the slot. This Raiders team is already looking completely different. They went out and they spent big. We saw billions of dollars being spent in week one. There are still small moves that this team can make, but like I said, Crosby, Kuntz, Kwity Paye, Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean, Teron Johnson. This team was at the bottom, has been the bottom dwellers of the AFC West. I don't know that they still will be that. You do have Patrick Mahomes coming off of injury. The Broncos and the Chargers. The Broncos are still tough. The Chargers beefed up their roster as well. They still have some pieces missing, but the Raiders are really set up to have a strong draft and to really build this thing out the way Kubiak would like it to be. The NFC South, the hierarchy bell is swinging. It is changing. The winds, all the good cliches, however you want to say it. The Carolina Panthers, they won this division last year. They made it to the playoffs, and they got a lot better this offseason early on, especially in week one of free agency. Going out and getting Rasheed Walker, Ike Ekwonu, towards patella tendon, I believe, in the playoffs. So it's a possibility he wouldn't even play this season. Going out and getting Rasheed Walker is a very good pickup. He's a solid left tackle coming over from the Packers. You get him on a one-year deal. It's really good. But when you look at Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd, they now have defensive stars at every level on this unit. J.C. Horn in the back end, want to count Morig, free agent addition last year. Devin Lloyd at that linebacker position, and now you have Jalen Phillips along with Derek Brown on that front, in that front seven. The Carolina Panthers are going to be a really good football team. But when you look at the rest of the NFC South, there's a lot of negativity going on, a lot of subtractions, if you will. Atlanta's going to have to rebuild. Tampa Bay lost Mike Evans, Levante David. The New Orleans Saints did bring in Travis Etienne. However, they're still around the young quarterback. Bryce is the vet. Bryce is the guy right now, him and Baker. And like I said, Baker's losing weapons and his team is getting older. So he's going to be have to retool very, very quickly because this Panthers team is young and now they have positions. They have scary athletes at each position. That defense should be nice. The offense is going to continue to build. I like what the Carolina Panthers are doing. My last winner, and I think this may be an obvious one for everyone, this team is making a huge push to the Super Bowl or going all in to get to the Super Bowl, and that's the LA Rams. The biggest flaw was their secondary, and in day one, they fixed it. Re-signing Cam Curl, trading for Trent McDuffie, and then bringing in Jalen Watson. This secondary is already locked in. They had Quentin Lakes. They still have Cam Kitchens, a draft pick from last year or the year before. Curl is still there, so you're able to have a bunch of exotic looks, which Raheem Morris likes to do. This front end, this front seven was already nice. They're already able to get after this quarterback. Brian Young, Jared Verse, Bobby Turner or Kobe Turner, and you got Brandon Fisk. This defense is really, really scary. Not to mention, this offense is ready. You have a Super Bowl winning quarterback who is a veteran. You have Puka Nacua, you have Devontae Adams, and now they're talking about trading for A.J. Brown as a possibility. This would be so unfair, but the Rams motto is F them picks, and they are all about getting to the Super Bowl. This could be McVay and Stafford's last year. If they get to the Super Bowl and win it, this could be their last year together. Now, off to the losers. Like I said, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they watched two of their greats walk out the door, Mike Evans and Levante David. They also lost Jamel Dean and Rashad White on the offensive side. They're going to have to hit in the draft. They didn't really spend big. I don't think they're able to spend big in free agency here. Losing Mike Evans is a big, big blow when Chris Godwin just kind of hasn't been the same guy since tearing up his knee. Emeka Egbuka had injuries last year. This was an injury-plagued position. Like wide receiver, you had Mike Evans was out for a while. I want to say Chris Godwin missed a few games, and Egbuka missed a few games. So they're going to have to hit, and they're going to have to hit early and often in this draft. I don't like where Tampa Bay's heading right now in the offseason, especially in free agency. And then my final losers, the entire AFC North. Each one of these teams has made some significant moves, I will say. The Cleveland Browns, they went out. All five of their offensive linemen were free agents. They went out and they made some trades. They made some crucial additions to that offensive line. They're rebuilding with a rookie head coach. They don't know who the hell the quarterback is going to be. Your defense has been phenomenal, but your defensive coordinator is gone. So what are the vibes in Cleveland? I just don't like it. Cincinnati, you needed to really beef up your defense. You did go out and you got some players, Jonathan Allen. None of the moves are really needle movers. They don't push you to the forefront of the AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens, you traded for Max Crosby. You then rescinded the trade, but you got your backup plan in Trey Hendrickson. I just don't believe that this team was a pass rusher away. There's still issues with Matabike's neck. He may be, shut down again, or it could possibly be career ending. I don't believe the Baltimore Ravens were a pass rusher away from a Super Bowl. Lamar was injured last year. Lamar had issues last year. Derrick Henry did a lot of fumbling last year, and you lost your lead fullback, your center, one of your tight ends. You already don't have a good wide receiver core. Like, this team is a lot further behind, I think, than people want to believe. They do and always have had a really good defense. So with Mentor coming in, they should have a solid defense. We'll have to see how this offense goes with a very, very, very young offensive coordinator. And then finally, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love the pickup of Michael Pittman. I think Michael Pittman Jr., along with DK Metcalf, is a really, really, really good combination. Throw in Washington and Freiermuth at the tight end position, and they picked up Rico Dowdell. However, who's the quarterback? You do not have a quarterback still. This has been the issue for the Pittsburgh Steelers for years. Since Ben Roethlisberger has retired, they have not had a quarterback, and they have thrown so many wrenches at this position. They have not been terrible enough to get a top quarterback. Next year's draft class is full of quarterbacks. I don't know that they're going to go Ty Simpson in the first round. I wouldn't recommend going Ty Simpson in the first round. Maybe they go Kirk Cousins here in this second wave of free agency. We'll see how that goes. But so far, you brought in Jamil Dean to play alongside Joey Porter. You still have Ramsey in at safety, who you can move around and whatnot. TJ Watt, but this was an old defense last year, an old expensive defense. You brought back Cam Hayward again on a revised deal. This is just you're gonna have to start trying to clean house. Maybe see what you can get for TJ Watt instead of just good enough seasons. every year, making it to the playoffs. Some of these guys deserve an opportunity, like Myles Garrett. They deserve an opportunity to chase a championship on a winning team. But that's the video, guys. Let me know who your winners and losers are in the comment section. If you're looking for more NFL free agency talk, NFL draft coverage, subscribe here. Don't forget to like and share.
Spazzing on the beat, they think I'm crazy. Got it under control, babe. You don't want smoke, all you see is the same.
LB tapping, keys in making waves. Ay. Step back, keep your distance. Ain't no telling what I just may do. I been vibing, minding my business. Throw one up if you can relate to. Said if I ain't got it, I make do. Can't be stuck waiting on a breakthrough. And I don't need everybody praying for me. Ain't no telling who you niggas pray to.